What are we here for? What do you truly want? When change is not enough, what do you do? What are we here for? What do you truly want? When change is not enough, what do you do? Let's talk about it, the problems we face. Let's fight hatred, no time to waste. The mind is naked, we can see it without an X-ray. Life is easy if we work together. We're the keepers, we're the people, we're all equal, filled with purpose. The past has pain, it'll drive you, even make you take aim. But together is where we should aim. Together is where we should. What are we here for? What do you truly want? When change is not enough, what do you do?
Welcome back to another edition of the Be Forever Cool podcast. My name is Rex45. And this evening, we got more motorcycle talk and more motorcycle talk and more motorcycle talk. I don't think I can get tired of talking about motorcycles. This February, second week of February, we got World Superbike starting the weekend of the 20th. We have MotoGP starting the weekend of the 27th. We have Motor America, at least the Daytona 200 next month, a little over a month away or less than a month away. So we got a lot to talk about. We got club racing. We got track day stuff to talk about. We got a whole lot to talk about. So I'm definitely going to keep it moving, bring the gang in one at a time and introduce them, see how everyone's doing. TJ, man, welcome to the show, man. How you doing this week, man?
Doing good. We're doing good. Could be doing better. As you know, we talk about my Patriots. We didn't get it done, but when football season's over, to me, that's when bike season starts. So
Right.
now I can focus on motorcycles and go forth from there. I'm ready for all the seasons to start.
Right.
So
were you
playing besides all the snow?
Were you one of these realistic fans that knew the Patriots was fortunate that all the other teams that should have been in the Super Bowl didn't do much last season? Or are you sitting here saying, man, they should have won it anyway?
I mean, we got that far. It's just in our nature. It's in our blood. We had the chance. We just didn't perform well. But I'm sorry for the other teams like, Philly, all those guys that thought they should have been there. But, we should have had it. Should have had it.
It sounds like a dig at Reese.
Sorry.
I was thinking more the Ravens, but we're gonna have to find out what that is. We're gonna keep it moving. Speaking of, man, Reese, man, welcome to the show, man. You think TJ's talking about your Eagles, man?
Yeah, man. I think I was a little dig at the Eagles there. You know what I mean? But we all know the Patriots had a little easy way over there to the Super Bowl, but we're not going to let that go.
It's one of the
one bird team got it done.
It was one of the easiest that we've seen road to the Super Bowl ever.
Right.
It's crazy to watch, but it's not their fault. As we say in racing, you got to show up and you got to finish.
Right.
So they got 17 wins out of the season. I don't know how, but they did it quietly.
That's it. Now football's over, like TJ said. Football's over, and time to go racing.
Right. The big show starts, as they say around the world.
That's it.
You good, man? You good? I mean, I'm pretty sure, as you mentioned from last year, the season starts the day after Jersey. So, where you at in the world, man?
I'm actually at my parents' house. I'm in Jersey. Taking a little time off, a little break.
All right.
But I missed testing these next 2 days. I'll miss testing, but have meetings and I get the updates all day.
All right, no doubt, man. We're gonna talk about some of those updates for sure. The real Luis Ortega, what's going on, man? I mean, you getting pulled over right now? I see light in your face.
Oh, there we go. I got the light on in the car because it's getting a little dark out here. I'm out in California doing some work, and so I'm working right now from the car because a lot of movements. But all's good, man. Weather's good out here. It's gonna rain the next couple of days, but getting a lot of work done, getting prepped for the season as well. I mean, obviously, you got regular work, you got fun work, you got work, and so we're trying to get all the different stages of work done.
So, we all have one question. Which halftime show did you watch?
Actually, the only thing I watched was the halftime show. I didn't watch the rest of the game because both teams I could give two shits about. So I tuned in to watch my fellow Puerto Rican put on a show. I thought it was a great show. I thought it was a real interesting way that he went about it. I know there's a lot of controversy, which to me is kind of a non-starter. Like a lot of the people are saying, well, I don't understand what he's saying. Well, guess what, man? A lot of people didn't understand half of what Kendrick Lamar said last year. And a lot of people didn't understand what Busta Rhymes said a couple years ago. And a lot of people don't understand. It's more about a vibe, it's a party atmosphere. It's a vibe. Kind of just enjoy it, man. It's crazy how divisive everything has to be. Like everything has to be divisive. And that's wild to me, man. Like at the end of the day, we're all on the same rock together. We're all in the same country together. We're never all going to agree at the same time, but we shouldn't be stopping each other from enjoying things. We shouldn't be kind of putting each other down all the time. Like I think right now it's the most divisive I've ever seen this country, and I hope we can get over the hump soon because it's just starting to get old, man.
I agree. It's definitely starting to get very old. Let me bring in the rest of the guys though. And did I do this the right way or the wrong way? I'm working it out. The rest of the gang. I mean, did you guys watch the Super Bowl halftime show as well? You agree with Lewis? A lot of people go to operas and they don't understand what the singers are saying. A lot of people go to Catholic church and they don't speak Latin, but they still tune in. What are you guys' thoughts on the halftime show? And I kind of understood what Busta Rhymes, but he's my people's.
Yeah, I agree with Lewis. I mean, I like the halftime show. I mean, it was definitely a vibe. You got to take it for what it is. Like, I don't speak Spanish. I can understand a little bit, but like, it was just a vibe. It was more about the creativity and what was going on. It was actually a lot. And then it's more of like a cultural thing, and it's just more just understanding. So it's kind of just take it for what it is. And it's usually every time after the Super Bowl, you see like all the dissects of everything and the meaning of everything, and so it just wakes people up like, oh, I didn't know that. So it's just like you said, it's just a vibe. Just take it for what it is and just experience, the culture and what they're trying to show us. So I thought it was pretty cool.
And there was an actual real wedding.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That was actually surprising. I didn't think that was actually a real wedding. I thought that was actually like a skit, and I was like, "Wait, this is real."
Right. Nah, man. The bad part about it is this dude just set the bar real high.
Right.
Like, where'd you get wedding? At the Super Bowl.
For real. And the crazy thing is, I think they reached out to Bad Bunny's camp to invite him to their wedding, and he said no. Once you have the wedding at the halftime show.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy to see. Yeah, I think for people who want to make noise, find a reason to complain about a halftime show or find reasons to complain about halftime shows. But they're there for enjoyment. They're there to kill the time between the two halves. And at the end of the day, I mean, it's about entertainment and a little bit of that. So anything you want to add, Reese, before we dive into the two-wheel world?
I mean, I agree with TJ and Lewis. I mean, that halftime show was actually great. It actually had a lot of meaning behind it. If you actually paid attention to it and everything that was on, there was a lot of culture history. There was a lot of meaning, and it just people just a lot of people have a mixed feelings about it because it was all in Spanish. I'm like, I didn't really care. I was actually enjoying the show more than anything. I was actually enjoying the show more than the football game. Right. So
more than that ass whooping that the Patriots got.
Hey.
Right.
That's all right.
I wouldn't classify that as an ass whooping. Let's just say it was a respectful loss.
At least we AFC champions.
As they say, belts to asses.
Second place, first loser.
Yeah. It definitely was tough to watch.
We'll still be remembered though. That's the thing. Usually second place don't be remembered, but they always remember.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think I think Bobby Fong can attest to this. I think getting there the first year and getting a taste of it. I think these young guys, despite what the Patriots have done in the past, despite what Attack Yamaha has done in the past, it's kind of like you taste it. Now this is your year. Now the next season, I guess for Bobby and the crew and for the Patriots, it's going to be huge because it's hard for people to repeat and get there, but if they get there, they usually close out, right?
I mean, it would be easy for the Patriots because again, they got a weak division that they got to go through.
Oh man, come on, whose fault is that? Come on, man. That's sitting here saying like somebody got more money than me, that's why they winning. Come on, man.
I mean, that was the case for a long time for the Yankees. Since they were the champions because they just had the biggest pockets.
Exactly. And we had to deal with that. We couldn't sit there and talk about their finances.
Hey. Bring the strength over here.
No doubt. I'll say this before we move on about the Super Bowl. When I saw the bushes, I thought like somebody actually moved all those in. It wasn't until after there were people that was moving around.
Right. I didn't know that was people. I was like, holy crap, that was people?
I like the picture that the BR46 team put out today.
I know
that at the bottom of one of the bushes was Frankie Morbidelli's boots. So he was one of the bushes. Yeah. I was like, that's about right because Frankie does end up in the bushes a lot.
Hey, listen, that's a nice plug for Dainese, right?
Hey, we'll take it where we can because there's a couple of items that I see coming up that we have nothing to do with. That I'm like, man, is there any way I can get our products out of that? There's a movie coming out that has our products in it that we had nothing to do with it. Mm-hmm. And God, I wish there was something I can do to like sue the production company to get our products out of it because it's not a look that we want to be associated with.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about that.
Nothing. They went out, they bought their own products, and it just happened to be Dainese products. And it's like some people won't catch it, but I'm keen-eyed, and I'm like, wait a second, that's our jacket. Holy shit!
Well, listen, man. Hopefully the movie does really well.
It bombs. No. Hopefully it bombs and nobody watches it. We'll talk about it after the show, but trust me, when I tell you what this movie is, you're not going to want to watch it.
All right.
Oh, God.
We'll wait till the cameras stop. But let's jump into it, guys. I mean, I'll put this on me. We did a horrible job this off season talking about prepping for the track and stuff like that. We've been talking more historic MotoGP wins and losses and stuff like that. But I figure, with the season about to start in World Superbike and also MotoGP, Moto America. I mean, if we're in Wera is going to be starting soon. We got Azra is going to be starting soon. If you're in the West Coast already, Louis, you probably see people prepping to go to the track this weekend because this is
CBMRA.
This is their season while the rest of us are kind of plotting and planning for the year and stuff like that. So, guys, let's just kind of talk about, what it means to get ready for the track, whether through exercise or bike prep and all that fun stuff. We'd look a quick melody of that. We'll start with TJ, man. How's your off season going? I know you're going to be racing this year coming up and stuff like that. You out here running the cold, playing the Rocky theme song. What's good?
Yeah, man, like it's different up here. Like now we got all the snow out here. So it's either like go to the gym or do some workouts at home, but you definitely gotta keep your mind on like racing. So like we mentioned way back, like I'll do like some go-kart racing or something like that, or play ride video games. As it starts getting closer, do some more bike riding. But more is just getting my mindset, into the bike scene, and just look over the bike, start it, see what I need, and all the tools, just mainly keeping everything close.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you got a race weekend that's next weekend, you think you have enough time, but like those days go by so fast. So you gotta like prepare yourself at least 2 3 weeks ahead of time, just to make sure everything is there. And I just remember when we was talking about preparing a while ago, you had one bolt that you had to go all the way to like New York to go get or something like that, and it like held you back. And it's just like those little things you just gotta get ready and prepare yourself to have everything's in line so you can go out there and not think about all that stuff. So
Right. No doubt. Reese, man, what does it take to, at the professional level, but what should us track guys be looking to do, and besides staying in shape and that kind of stuff? And, I'll be curious, guys, what's the furthest you have driven or traveled? I mean, I know, Reese, you probably to get your bike serviced. How many hours did you stay on the road to get to that mechanic or whoever to get something done? What do we need? What should we be focusing on in this off season, Reese?
I mean, mainly like TJ said, you want to focus on fitness and mental health. I mean, that's mainly the key. Focus. That's the biggest key in your physical strength and your mental health. And then next thing you know, you do want to focus on making sure your bike is up to par, service, making sure that it is ready to go for the track, and making sure you have all your preparations ready to go. As far as like your suit is, not have any holes in it. Make sure your helmet is up to spec. Making sure you have your gloves don't have any holes in it, and your boots don't have any holes at the bottom of at the bottom.
Right.
So that's the main biggest things right there.
Follow cleaning procedures to clean the suits and everything you just mentioned.
Exactly. Call Lewis. He'll come clean your suit for you.
I don't know about that.
Can't afford me, bro.
I think that's how the message starts when you call.
Yeah, if you're calling for services, you can't afford me. Please leave a message.
But for real though, Lewis, anything you want to add, man? As far as and I didn't preface by saying new riders or experienced riders, but also new riders and experienced riders. I think it's a little bit different when you're new versus experienced, because when you're new, you don't know anything, so you can't necessarily plan for everything. Because as a new rider, you just unless you're with somebody that says I got it, you're gonna miss some stuff. But from a new rider, an experienced rider, and if touch on a little bit on the mental side that Reese talked about as well, and also at the end, give a little tip how we can keep our suits smelling fresh and clean.
I mean, on the mental side, the first thing you really got to do, and actually the mental side does kind of go with the physical side, because if you're in good physical shape, your mental shape is going to be a little bit better. If you're not in good physical shape, you're already starting a couple steps behind. So, try to get out to the gym, try to do some walking around, try to do some activities, get your body back into that, especially if you're in an area that's really cold and you don't get out much. You become a little bit sedimentary during the off season, where you're just kind of sitting around the house, not doing a lot of activities. Start doing some activities, start getting your health up, start getting your wind up. And then from there, on the mental side of things, just remember you're starting a new year. If you already know what you're doing, you know what you're doing, but always start the year slow. Don't try to rush yourself to do more than what you can initially. Don't go out the first track day and try to set your PB, because all you're going to do is end up in the gravel pit and putting yourself in debt. Go out there, shake off the cobwebs, like they say. Start working on your eyes, start working on your reflexes. It's all muscle memory. It takes a little bit of time to warm up and get it back. And then from there, the next step is really going to be on the bike side of things, especially for new riders. If you didn't store your bike over the winter the right way, go from one end of the bike to the other, check every single bolt, check your tires, check your slack, check your chain, check all the links on your chain. Look at your teeth on your sprocket. I can't tell you how many people are out there with a sprocket that looks like it's barely able to, the chain's barely able to push it because the teeth are just rounded down. If you have, if you didn't do it before you put the bike up for the season, change your oil. If you want, change your brake fluid. That's something that a lot of people don't do on a regular basis. And brake fluid absorbs a lot of water. That's why it's a closed system. But even as a closed system, like humidity can still get in there. And if you get humidity into the brake system, your brakes aren't going to be as effective. And it's not that expensive to change brake fluid. It's literally you buy brake fluid and you bleed it slowly. And that's it. It's, if you once you know how to do it, you could probably do the brakes in less than 15 minutes. But these are the brakes. So next to the gas, this is the next most important control that you have on the bike. It's probably the most important because it's what stops you from hitting the side of a car.
Right.
So, look at your brake pads, go over the entire bike just with a torque wrench, torque everything down. Give yourself the time one day, just spend a few hours in the garage doing it the right way. So when it is time to ride, you can go out with peace of mind, because that's another piece of the mentality. If you go out with peace of mind, your bike is right, you gave it the time, you're already going out there, you got this weight off your chest, your weight off the shoulder, you're not worried about something not going wrong. You know that everything should be where it should be.
Yeah, that is the worst feeling, man, to go out and wondering if a bolt is tight or wondering anything. You might as well just pit, because you can't really commit. You know what I mean? It's the craziest thing. Reese, man, you're the expert in this situation. How should guys be storing their bikes, so gals should be storing their bikes? Does it matter if you're in New England, where it's cold right now, versus down in Florida? What do you guys do to store the bike in the off season? You just have everything just sitting in oil?
Best way to do is store it somewhere warm, because fluids you want to have warm all the time. But if you can't, then if you're up like in the northeast area, it's got to be stored somewhere cold. Definitely put a battery. I always say put a battery tender on it. Or you can pull the battery out and put it to the side, put a tender on it. You don't have to leave it in the bike. That's one. You can always drain the fluids, and also definitely make sure you put that stabilizer in the fuel to keep the fuel break down. You don't want that fuel to get moisture in it, to get all types of crap in it. And a lot of people, here's the biggest false statement a lot of people will do. They'll go out in the wintertime and they'll just go ahead and start the bike and let it run. Yeah, that's fine, but just leave it on a tender and it'd be fine, because you're actually not getting your spark plugs hot enough to actually do any work. The best way you want to do it, you have to actually run it and get it up to speed, get it up to get temperature, to get the oil up to temperature, to get everything up to temperature. But if you're not creating enough heat in those plugs, all you're doing is actually creating more moisture to go into the bike. That's all you're doing. You're making it just have more moisture come in there, and that's the worst thing you can do. So the best thing to do is just actually put it on a tender. It's just the pigtails, plug it into a wall socket, leave it there. And then summertime, as soon as the weather gets hot, go run the thing and blow it out and get it hot enough.
Got you. Now, do you recommend, you say fluids, you recommend draining your tank as well, or leaving some gas in it and put the stabilizer in it?
No, I would leave some gas in it and put some stabilizer in it, and that would be justifiable. Because when you take that gas out, all that gas is just on the side of your tank, and you can start actually with the moisture, the cold air, everything else, start creating rust in there. Then you got a bigger problem when you're in. Now we got to do your whole tank.
Right.
So just leave the fuel in there and just put the fuel additive, the stabilizer in there, and that'll be justifiable.
Okay. All right. Now, what about, renewing licenses and planning out track days and some of these race organization, is now the time to start learning the rule books, plotting out your crew, who's showing what, getting the trailer sorted out, or getting your tent repaired. Because I mean, it's a lot when when you sit down and think about everything that you need. It's you think you can just show up with just gear, your bike, and a trailer yourself.
You'd be asking people for stuff.
I mean, you could just show up with anything, and then like back in the day when Lewis wanted to kick you out, and be like, "Yo, Mo, you gotta go."
You're costing too much. You're eating all the food.
I'm sitting in my chairs.
What we used to do before we like maybe a month or so before our first event, we actually used to do a simulation of going to the track. So we would get the trailer, hook the trailer up to the truck, make sure that everything's working there, make sure the lights are working. Then we would open the trailer. We would take everything out. We would make sure that the canopy is good. We make sure we have the chairs, we have the cooler, make sure we have all the extension cords. We'd plug in the bikes. We'd make sure that we have the stands. We make sure the tire warmers are working. Like we would literally have a fake track day in our driveway.
Right.
So that when we packed everything back in the trailer, we know everything is there. Everything worked. We already tried it. We don't need to do anything else. And that was our event. That's our event setup.
Right. I mean, are you talking about propane for cooking, salt and pepper, making sure
everything except the salt and pepper and the grill, but make sure we have like I said, the right amount of extension cords, the right amount of connectors. Make sure that all the stands are good, and make sure. And when you're doing that, you're also checking on the bike. Did one of my spools break, or did one of my spools fall off? You're always looking for anything on the bike that you need to fix. There's nothing worse than a week or two before a track day realizing, I need a part. And now you got to try to find that part, and you're running around, and every dealer is like, hey, I can't get that part for 2 weeks. So now you're on a forum like, hey, does somebody have a throttle tube for a 1998? No, nobody has that shit. You should have thought about it 4 months ago when your bike was in the garage. Like not 4 days before your track day.
Come on, man. I'm busy working to get to the track. I can't think.
Now you're busy working trying to find that part.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, been there, done that.
So sure. Now that part that you could have got for $30, now it's going to cost you $120 because you're either paying for shipping or you're like desperate to get it. Give yourself time and check everything over. Like do a simulation of a track day, get all your stuff together. Even check your tire warmers. I don't know how many times I've gone to track days and people plug in their warmers and their warmers don't work. Guess what? It didn't work when it was your house either. You could have figured that shit out while you were home. My compressor doesn't work. You could have checked the compressor at home. Now you got no air. That's not my problem. Go buy a bike pump now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. Because when I went racing a couple of weeks ago, I forgot so much, and I thought I had everything laid out in the garage, and I thought I had everything. And when I got to the track, I was just like, I don't have this, I don't have that. Like, what's going on? And it's the first day back, so you talk about being rusty on the track, just prepping for the track. You're kind of rusty because you think you got it figured out and you got a system, but like you say, you take a few months off and it goes awry. What about like the trailer service and all that fun stuff? That's important as well. Which is like just as important as the bike. Because if your trailer can't make it, then chances are the bike is not going to make it, right, guys? What are your thoughts, TJ?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a closed trailer, but I got an open trailer, but you got to make sure, the tires are right. You got a spare tire. Got to make sure your connections work, like your blinkers and all that good stuff. So, it's very important. I mean, obviously after a few track days, it's just like second nature, but right when you start, it's always something like, damn, I don't feel like going back to get that or just the little stuff. It's always something small like a strap or a bolt or something. So,
right.
But yeah, definitely got to make sure you got your spare tire for your trailer. The tires have tread. Make sure everything is in line. Like grease the bearings if you can. It's a little tough, but
yeah. Now, if you're a new rider and you're trying to figure out, all right, what track days, or not necessarily a new rider, but maybe you're new to go into the track and you're trying to figure out like what track days should I go to, or if you want to go racing, where should I go racing? Is the default just whatever's close, whatever is the shortest distance? Do you guys have any tips on how to pick a good organization to go mess with, or just trial by fire? You go one, if they do something wrong, you move on to the next one. Any tips, you guys?
Nemo's the best one. What do you mean? Hey,
I mean, I say go to your home track. I say go to your home track. That's where you're most comfortable at. That's going to be your best track. That's going to be so. If you do like the track, you can always keep going back there. You can get familiarized with the track. I mean, my home track was Jersey, and I just went, got familiarized with it. So now that's like second nature. I know where the bumps are. I know since they haven't resurfaced it, I know where like little dips are. But that's where I went. That's where I started at, and then I just branched out from there and started doing other tracks. Once I got familiarized a lot with Jersey, and I realized that this was something I wanted to do back in '08.
Right. And in your case, did you just kind of like? I mean, it's different back then. Well, I don't know how many organizations were going to Jersey back then, because now we have a few organizations going to the same track different times of the year. So how do you pick the organization? Just kind of do Google thing and see what ratings look like. Talk to your peoples. Hit the forums.
I mean, you can hit the forum, you can do ratings, you can just read their website. I mean, back then it was NESBA, now it's Into. Here, now in Jersey, I think it's the Riders Club that's got it with Ken Hill. Ken Hill just took it over. But I mean, you just start listening to people. You kind of go. I mean, it's just kind of going to be trial and error. Like it was kind of trial and error with me. I mean, I went NESBA team promotion. A couple school, and then I've done a couple of days of Yamaha Day Champion School. So you just start picking trial and error on where you want to go, and then you'll start seeing where you fit in and what group is going to fit best for you.
Right.
And sometimes it's also just based on your availability. Like if the only chance you have to go, there's a particular school there, like sometimes you just got to eat it, and that's when you're available to go. So you kind of just go and hope for the best. I mean, for the most part, to be honest with you, like I feel that today, for the most part, most track day companies are at least competent. I'm not going to say that they're all great, but at minimum, they're competent. If you get lucky, you get with a track day organization that's more than just competent. Like they have a little bit higher level of service. They have a little bit more attention, especially if you're a new rider, to try to help new riders come along and give them the right information. But start there, see if you like it. And then if you do like it, then start looking at maybe other organizations that go to the track closest to you and try other organizations until you find the one that has the right vibe. Because even sometimes you go to a track day organization and just the vibe's not there. Either the other attendees or something about the track is off for you, and you're paying for it. So you got to feel comfortable. And if you don't feel comfortable, look at other options.
Right. Because like I went with NESBA when I first started, and I felt at home with them. And literally when I went there, it's like a lot of people had so many, praises and give some good stuff about them. You moved up with them, you knew you was ready to move up. Like I moved up to the advanced group and I knew I was ready. So
got you. I was so what do you say to riders that are first timers and they have a maybe not so great experience, maybe not because of anything per se happening to them, but maybe a lot of crashes, and I don't want to say get spooked by that, but maybe a little bit more like is the track as safe as the street, because I'm here and I see a lot of people crashing. When you say new riders, that go to the track, that see that and should that be their one and only option to make a choice, as far as like I saw it, now my mind is made up, or like you guys were saying a little bit ago, maybe go to some more track days and kind of see, because not all track days are like that. What do you say, new riders that have bad experiences at the track?
I mean, the the more times you turn that key, the more chances you have of, going down. Unfortunately, I mean, it's part of the game. You're not going to this. Yeah, we're all going to the track days, not to get hurt. We're not going there to crash. We don't want to go to crash. We don't want to get hurt. We don't want to do anything. But it's just like, playing basketball, playing any kind of sport, it's part of the game. It's just part of it's part of the game. You're going to get hurt. Maybe something may happen. It's a freak accident. None of the riders we have want to go in there to go down, but they have it in their head. There is a likely chance that I can go down. You have to accept that, and then once you can accept it, that it is a possibility, you can move on from it. I mean, it's just something that's going to it can happen. We hope and pray to God it never does. And if it does, it's something we can walk away from, but you can't go there scared, because honestly, if you go there scared, you have a more likely chance to go down and get seriously hurt or jeopardize and hurt someone else bad.
Yeah. That's the quickest way to get tired, man. Right around the track with one skid.
It does happen. It's just something that happens. It's part of the game, man.
It is, and I think you learn to talk yourself off the ledge the more you get out there. If you're a younger person, I think it's easier just to go out there and not have a care. But after a certain age, you have some consciousness of what could happen if it goes horribly wrong.
Yeah, I mean, on the flip side of that, back to your original question, if you're not having a good day at the track, you should go speak to the people running the track day and have a discussion with them and explain your concerns to them and see what they can do for you. This goes back in the day when, I was coaching and whatever. People would not have a great day, but they would leave and then they would go on forums and start to complain about all the things that went bad at that track day.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had just gone and spoken to somebody that was running the track day on that day, they probably could have done something to make the day better for you. Either move you to another group or, hey, since you're not having a great track day, if you want to leave early, we'll give you a 50% back discount so you can come to a different track day. Because sometimes you go to a track day and it has nothing to do with the organization. It's just on that particular track day, a bunch of guys showed up and decided this is the day I'm going to fuck my bike up. For whatever reason, they just decided I want to buy parts. And you've seen it. We've all been to track days where there's a group of people that show up and they just all decide like, yo, my bike is too shiny. I want to see how many parts I can take home. Like legit.
Dragon.
I mean, I've been to track days and I mean, Reese, I think maybe it was, I used to do like a little speech to the beginners. And at the beginning of the day, just by looking at the people that were there, I already knew who was going to crash. They already had
you're going to go down, you're going to go down, you're going to go.
And by the end of the day, I had like a good, like I'm going to say like it was 80% accurate because they had that look. They came with that look in their face like, I'm definitely crashing today.
Full send, man. Full send. It's one of the few sports that you have to do your best not to take things literally sometimes.
There were two guys that came one day to an event. I called them the R1 brothers. And there were two guys from New York. They both had R1s, and this was like the previous style R1, the big mouth in the front, giant headlight.
Yeah.
R1.
And exhaust.
They both had, exhaust under the seat. They had Valentino Rossi stickers all over the bikes.
Fiat, baby.
So that was already a yellow flag. I was like, all right, this is a yellow flag. These guys might be a problem. And then they started talking about that, like they just didn't listen in the group. They didn't listen to the rules of the day. They didn't listen to this. They didn't listen to that. And even the first session, they were already starting to break some of the rules. And I was seeing how they were riding, and you could tell they were street Rossies. because going straight, they were fast, but going to the turns, I mean, they didn't know what they were doing. And I said, hey, if you guys don't chill, you're both going to go home. And those Yamaha Rossi Edition R1s are going home in a lot of parts. And sure enough, man, both of them crashed that day, totaled their bikes.
Oh, wow.
And I could have gone over and been like, hey, I told you so. And I tried many times, like, and a lot of the other people working that day tried to tell them, like, hey, you need to relax, you need to slow down, you need to get off the bike, you're not leaning, you're not doing, like, all the things that you try to tell them, but you couldn't get through to them.
Yeah, I don't understand why that is. Like, what is so hard about, like, you know, and is it just because you're just so comfortable on the street that you think it's the same?
One word. Their pride. Their pride.
Pride and ego.
That's it. Their pride.
I'm the fastest guy on the street.
I swear I remember when I first met Lewis back in the track day, and he said on a novice day, he was like, you need to check your ego and pride at the door. He said, because there's a 14-year-old, 15-year-old kid that's going to come by you on a 250. And sure enough, it was a kid that was 15-year-old that was on a 250, and his name was Anthony Mazziato, and that kid would blow the doors off of you. I was like, God damn.
Yeah, man.
Like, God damn. That's when I was like, all right, let me check my ego at the door. And then slowly but surely, I got it and started bumping up. I latched on to Lewis, and it was history after that. And I was like, all right, I'm good. But then I literally had to check that ego at the door. I was like, yo, this kid is coming by you quick.
Yeah, I thought I was a street Rossi too. I mean, riding on the street for 8 years before even thinking about a track. You know, I met Rexy and then got into racing before a track day, and definitely humbled myself quickly because instead of just a track day, I got racers going by me and stuff like that. So I know if you're having a bad day at a track, which usually never really happens, like if you're on the track and having a good time, just try to follow a coach. You know, and like they'll probably keep you up to speed or something like that, and they'll probably switch you to a group, or like you shouldn't just try to take it out on other riders or try to get in the way. It's everybody's just trying to have fun. But yeah, there's always plenty of coaches out there that can keep you in line. And once I got to the track, I literally threw my street Rossi away, and I'm now like, you know, pay attention to like what's really important. Like on the track, you can feel the bike more and tires, and it's just a whole nother understanding. So, it's just definitely got to have a good time when you go to the track. If you have a bad time, there's something wrong.
You're Joe on Mir now, right?
No one be no Joe on Mir. Unless you go to a track day and a lot of red flags.
What are you talking about? I'll take that world title.
Huh? Yeah, of course. And I mean,
to you.
It's going to be handed to somebody, so you'll take it.
That is true. It definitely, it definitely will. Speaking of, you know, Mir and these guys, testing just happened. Should we take a lot from testing? Is it just, you know, more food for thought until the season start? Who is it more important for? If you Mark Marquez and you're showing up to shake things down, are you sitting here trying to say, pushing your fastest time the first weekend out, or you're just figuring parts out? What's the deal with testing, and who should we be looking out for based if there's something to look out for, because it's testing?
Well, yeah, Lewis, you know, Lewis called everybody, you know, called Dig a shit box.
There's one particular bike that has got an issue. We'll talk about that in its own little segment.
Listen, they ain't got nothing to do with me. That's on that side of the water.
I see how you set that up, Reed, so that way you don't have to talk about it. I understand. We'll leave you out of that conversation. You know, leave the YMCA alone. So what's the deal, guys, on testing? TJ, we'll start with you, man. I mean, you know, right? I'm excited for it because this means the season is so much closer. I think the senior guys, I think they're just kind of like making sure the ergonomics and whatever parts they got to test and render approve, thumbs up or thumbs down, like Rick James.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, like Mark for sure is just where, how the new bike feels and all that good stuff. There's obviously some riders that didn't have a well enough season last year that wants to be up to speed, so they'll probably get some fast laps in and testing all their parts. But it's good to see like Marco Bezzecchi. You kind of want to leave where you left off, also. So like, it's good to see Marco Bezzecchi still trying to just be at the top. Also the rookies, like Top Rack. Yeah, I mean, like, I know Reese has said he's going to be top five real soon, but I mean, like, I don't know if he's bluffing, but yeah, he has to get used to that bike, and he's like a second off and stuff like that. So it's really good for Top Rack for him per se to get the most out of this, try to get up to speed as fast as he can, try to set a fast lap, opposed to like, Mark Marquez where he's just figure out parts. So overall, I thought it was a really good testing.
Mm-hmm.
So just can't wait for the next test, Burium, and then the season. So fortunately, it was a lot of footage.
Right. No, I tried, man. I tried. Reese, what are your thoughts on Honda? I mean, Mir got the top spot, I think, on the FP3, but Luca Marini overall, I think, did better than Mir. What are your thoughts on Honda? And it seems like not like Fabio is one of the factory guys for 27. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, what Honda's doing is actually great. I mean, they're actually getting their stuff together. I mean, testing is testing, as we all know. I mean, you're trying, as I do know. I mean, you're trying new parts, you're trying new things, you're seeing where it goes, see what's more comfortable. New gas tanks, new setup, new suspension, new rears. You're trying a whole bunch of different things to see what actually works and what's comfortable. Some guys I've learned are better at testing than racing. Some guys are better at racing than testing. So it just comes down to what we're looking at and what they're doing. They're just trying to get their feet wet, trying to shake the cobwebs off from being off for a couple of months now, and get the bike up to speed to where they're comfortable at. That's what they're trying. I mean, like I said, what Honda's doing is great. What is going on with Quartararo or Fabio? I have no idea. I mean, Honda, I read a couple things. Honda's still in talks with a bunch of different people. So is it set in stone? No. Is it close? It seems like it. I mean, at this point in time, I always say everything's a rumor until it's something is inked to paper. Once it's inked to paper, then I'm like, all right, that's it. In my eyes.
Right. Lewis, man, what are your thoughts? So you're going to talk about Yamaha, KTM. It seems like Aprilia, Honda, and Ducati. I think they, from testing, looks like they got their packages are in the top 10. What's going on with Yamaha? Is it just
go ahead, say it?
Is it just used to it? Is it Quartararo is disgruntled? Rins is still not 100. Jack is Jack. I mean, what's happening?
No, I mean, they had one major mechanical where they had to stop all the bikes because they found a flaw in like a motor somewhere or a part somewhere that all the riders had to stop. Top speed, they have the slowest trap speed of all the bikes. So even with this new V4 motor, they haven't found more top speed, which is not a great sign because that's been Fabio's number one complaint is we don't have the speed. And the V4 was supposed to bring the speed, but obviously the V4 isn't bringing the speed. So they still have a deficit in somewhere in getting either the power to the ground or just generating the power at the motor.
I was going to ask about that because, I mean, is it just a matter of gearing and or electronics, or do you feel like the engine is still underpowered?
I mean, there's definitely still some growing pains in that engine. And I don't know if it's, an internal part. I don't know if it's a transmission part. I don't know if it's something else. If their seamless gearbox is not working right. If it's an electronics issue where the engine is not performing optimally. Like it could be so many different things. And the only way they're going to learn is by putting it together. But it seems that the riders just say that the bike's not generating enough horsepower. Like we're not going faster. and the times are showing it. The trap speed is showing it. And it's early in the season, but even Top Rack, he's already a little bit flustered because he's not used to being at the back end of the pack. Yes, he still has to get adapted to this style of bike and this type of riding and to the tires and everything else. But, there's already been some things in the news there. He's just not happy with the bike, and what he's asking for, Yamaha doesn't seem too keen to give him what he wants because they think it's going to make the bike go backwards because it's not a super bike. It's a GP bike.
Right.
So I think they're in the worst position of anybody right now. It would be Yamaha.
Is it fair for Top Rack to be asking for changes and he hasn't had a whole season on that bike?
He ain't gonna get no parts, man.
Ergonomic.
He got no laps.
I respect, Top Rock 100%, but how long did it take for Lorenzo to get Ducati to adjust his seat?
until they fired him.
Yeah.
They fired him, and then they gave him the seat the week they fired him.
So, you know what I mean? No, I don't know how much. I mean, I can't imagine that. I mean, I that may be more rumors than him really complaining the first time, other than just, like me, saying I got to get used to this, right? Because I saw something where Miller is saying that he needs to be, Top Rack needs to be smoother on the bike. He's still riding the bike too aggressive, and that's not how you ride the MotoGP bike. So, what's the deal with KTM? I mean, we talked last week about Vinales and Lorenzo, but what about the rest of the gang? I mean, is who's going to have? Obviously, we won't know until the season is over. But the setup right now, who's looking to have a worse season, KTM or Yamaha?
Yamaha.
I mean, you got Acosta might be leaving, and you got Vinales, and the other two riders, Bastianini hopefully will come into his own, but we don't know. So between, I mean, is Vinales going to be carrying the flag for the whole crew?
It's probably going to be Vinales and Pecco. I think Bastianini, he's going to be out at the end of this year. There's some opportunities that have been rumored of him leaving to go to a different manufacturer. Binder, I don't know where he's going to go past this year unless he has an incredible year with KTM. I don't see him staying around. And if I was KTM, I'd be trying to re-sign Vinales because it doesn't seem like Acosta wants to stick around. So KTM is in a weird situation, just rider wise, and Yamaha is in a weird situation, bike and rider wise. Fabio Quartararo, I don't think wants to stick around for this rebuilding process with Yamaha. Rins is probably going to be leaving. I don't think he's even that interested in staying in racing, to be honest with you.
Right. Super bike, but you might be right. He's had a lot of. I mean, he's probably had about not the same injuries as Pedrosa, but his injury recovery ratio, he's not recovered well. Rins lately from his injuries, which makes it difficult if you can't be healthy.
Yep. So yeah, both of those guys are on the back end, but I still think KTM is more competitive than Yamaha at the end of the day. So if I had to list it out, I'd be Ducati still the bike to beat, but very, very close behind it is Aprilia. And then right behind Aprilia now, realistically, I say it's a split between Honda and KTM. Like they're both knocking there. I think Honda will be more competitive at more tracks as the season goes on.
Well, you got 3 happy guys on a Honda. Well, 4, because all 4 are happy on a Honda. I don't know about all 4 are happy on the KTM, much less 2.
That's true.
What are your thoughts, TJ, on KTM and what's happening? And
I agree with Lewis on like how they stand. Like hopefully KTM can be more consistent. You rely on Maverick, but he could have a Maverick type season. And Pedro Acosta. Like he's very aggressive rider, and obviously seems like he wants to leave, but like how it's all about how everyone starts. That's what I'm counting on. So after the first 2 or 3 races, like it just matters because like you could be ready, and like someone could just take you out, and now you're already like sort of out of the championship race, and that kind of changed your mood and everything, and it's just you probably don't give 100% effort throughout the rest of the season. You kind of like giving up. So, but Yamaha, on the other hand, as long as like Jack Miller can stay on twos and not throw his bike away all the time, and they have more consistent season getting points, they could probably have a potentially better year if they can figure out the V4.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Fabio is definitely going to hold it down, but they don't want to lose Fabio. So
Yeah, I mean, if you believe what we're seeing, it's already. I mean, for this, it doesn't matter for 26 because he's going to be in Yamaha, so they're going to have to. He's going to have to earn that keep. But let's talk about the elephant in the room, the big red boys, the Ducatis. I mean, is it as Lewis say they're the guys on top, and we just got to show up and just figure out which one of the Ducatis is going to take home the trophy? What are we talking about?
I mean, we don't have to figure out which one's going to take home the trophy. There's only one in red that's taking home that trophy. I mean, that's 93.
Nah, to be honest with you, man, I think if Alex starts the season and is able to maintain his mental strength the whole season, I think Alex is going to be right at the front because he got real close he tasted a lot of Prosecco last year. And the latter part of the year, he kind of folded mentally. He started having a lot of mental mistakes. He did have an injury that kind of didn't help either, but I think he's coming in this year knowing like, hey, I got the potential to do this, even if I don't stay with Ducati after the season, because there's some rumors of him leaving Ducati to be a factory rider for KTM or somebody else. Here's an opportunity for me to set my stock very, very high. So when I do get another contract, it's not going to be some BS $300,000 a year contract or $400,000. Like he was one of the lowest paid riders last year, according to the data that was released. And he was, in the hunt to the championship pretty much until 80% of the way through the season.
Right. And is that just, I mean, that's interesting too, because Grassini wasn't paying Furman because that's a factory seat contract. He was getting paid. So where all that money going, man? Cocoa bread and patties?
Yo, man, it's expensive to be Grassini, man.
I people don't understand, man. That costs. It costs to play.
That water they like to drink with bubbles, like that's expensive, bro. That Pellegrino is not cheap.
Yeah, so I hear maybe one day I'll get to taste it. So what are we saying? VR46 Academy, even though they're not completely full red, they don't have a shot this year. Is it really just going to be the Marquez brothers again? As far as Ducati is concerned, we're going to say that Furman's not going to be there. Pecco's not going to be there. The VR46 boys are not going to be there. Is this what I'm hearing?
From what I heard Pecca is starting to film a lot more of that front end on the 26 versus the 25.
I heard the same thing. He texted me the other day.
So he did.
Like, this is my season.
I hope he tests you the bill on how much plastic costs with that body work that he's going to spend.
Come on, Marquez crashed more than he did last year, so he paid less.
I think the Marquez boys is going to be out there front running again. It's just like when it comes to testing, like you have your test pace, but like I think we mentioned earlier, but when it comes to racing, like you don't do good in practice, but when it comes to racing, like you're ready. Like some people do good in practice instead of racing. So I just remember the first race last year when Mark's first time on the Ducati, we all wanted to see what happened, and like he took off running, and then he literally let his brother pass him, and then he passed him again. Like he was playing with people, like considering how we were watching, he wasn't really playing like that. He's giving his all, but yeah, I just felt like they're gonna be them two they live together, so they're gonna be out front running, in my opinion.
Yeah, so it's gonna be from the get-go. It's going to be Mark, DeGen Antonio, Alex, and Pecco on a 26 bike. And I don't know, is Furman on a 24 bike or is he getting a 25 bike? So I know Frankie's on a 24 bike for this season. Do anyone know if Furman's going to be on a 25 or a 24 bike? And 4 guys on a 26 bikes, and as you guys were saying earlier, it looks like Alex already got the pace. But again, is Mark just kind of just doing other things, and he's not worrying about the pace until the red lights go out?
I thought it was only 4 26 out going out this year.
Yeah, it's 4. One.
I think it's only 4.
One for VR40, one for Alex, and the two factory, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was only 4 going out this year.
Right, but is Furman going to be on a 25 bike? Because Frankie's on a 24 bike again this year.
It says he's riding a 25 bike.
So
that's riding 25.
So he'll be on a 25. So that's going to be interesting. You have 3 different Ducatis. Well, I guess all the bikes are kind of different anyway, but quote unquote 3 different Ducatis on the grid. That's kind of, I mean, that's going to be a loss for Furman, right? Because there's no development on that bike. And the 24, they just probably just gonna leave the way it is, just keep swapping parts.
Yeah, but I mean, Mark did well on the 25 bike when he was on the bike. Alex did well on the 25 bike. And I think Furman, since he's kind of more in line with Alex and Mark than he is with Digia and Fabio, he's probably going to be able to get a lot of insight in how to make that bike work from Alex and Mark.
Right.
Versus, I don't think Alex and Mark are sitting down with Digi and Fabio telling them how to make a bike work.
That's unfortunate.
It is.
The year of 8 Ducatis on the grid and everybody sharing information was a beautiful thing. What happened?
I want to beat you.
Yeah, it got expensive.
And my paycheck needs to be bigger than yours.
Yeah. No, I mean it's Ducati team wise. I mean the factory team is still going to be the top team. I think the Gresini team will be the second team, and then the VR46 will be the probably at the back end of the pack as far as the team. But they're still going to be competitive. They're still going to finish in the top 10 on a regular basis, probably the top 5 a couple of times. On the Aprilia side, I still think that Bezzecchi is going to be the number 1 rider. We'll see what happens. The next test, I think, is going to be a little bit closer to a litmus test of what the beginning of the season is going to look like, because this first test, this was really a shakedown test, testing parts and everything else. So, you can take away like, hey, this guy's got great race pace with this particular package, but there's probably still more stuff to try.
Right.
I think the next event, since we're getting now closer to the first race of the year, I think at the next event, they're going to do a lot more race simulations. They're going to do a lot more, let's see how many laps we can get out of the bike with different setups and see how the bike feels at the beginning versus the end. And then that'll give us a little bit more of a litmus test. Because I know Mark said, there's like 5 guys faster than me out there. If Mark wanted to go faster, he'll find that extra like 2-3 tenths of a second. I think at the pace he was running, there were 5 guys faster than him. But I think when the hammer drops, the mentality switches from testing practice mode to race mode. That's where some guys will actually find that extra couple of tenths that they're not really pushing during practice. Or when you get to like the last 5 laps of a full length race and the tires are off and the fuel load is low and everything else, you find that extra pace. You find that extra speed. Right. So that's the mental aspect of it. And let's see who's coming in the mentally strongest this year. Pecco had a rough year last year. His confidence was shaken almost immediately last year, and it really never recovered. Hopefully he got a big reset button over the winter and he comes back. He has a great first 1 or 2 races, and it kind of reinstills his confidence. He's got the feel with the bike, and all of a sudden he's going really fast. I think the only person that I don't expect big things out of, because again, he missed the first practice of the year because he's injured again, is Martin. Like Martin is not doing himself any favors by constantly being injured, man. Constantly not having time to test on a bike. He thinks he's just going to show up and on pure talent, do what he wants to do. And I don't think that's the case, man.
All right. Is it safe to say, like Melandri had a lot of injuries? These guys that were really talented back then, that could have fought for championships, but they were plagued with injuries. The Danny Pedrosa. When you're plagued with that many injuries, it's really hard to have a good, consistent season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're sitting and watching people ride your bike all the time and you're not riding it yourself, you're not going to get better.
Oh man, tough.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the rookies before we get out of here. Diego and Top Rock. We're hearing more from Top Rock, but I can understand why. Who do you guys have a prediction yet? I know actually Reese already says Top Rock is going all the way. But
Hey, I stand by my statement.
What are your thoughts on the rookies? I mean, too soon to tell. They're looking comfortable because their times are pretty close.
I think at the end of the season, Diego will end up higher in the standings than Top Rack for two reasons. One, Diego's already been riding in Moto 2, Moto 3 in the paddock, understands these tracks, has ridden all these tracks. And two, he's on a better bike. So I don't care how good Top Rack is in World Superbike. Back then, he was a big fish in a little pond. And like I said before, now he's not a big fish in a little pond. He's a little fish in an ocean full of sharks. And nobody here is going to give him respect. Nobody here is going to be scared of him. Nobody here is showing up like, oh, Top Rack is racing. Like Marquez is showing up and like, oh, look, a back marker for me to pass.
Right. No, it's one of those things like like the NBA. Even the guy that scored 4 points a game can still kick your ass.
Yeah. He's
just because he scored 4 points. I mean, he can't play.
Yeah, and here, I mean, I honestly think at the end of the year, the rookie of the year won't be Top Rack.
Yeah.
Between the bike and his learning curve and everything he's got to do, is the cars don't stack up well for him.
Right. Yeah, I mean, or Diego gets hurt. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But we saw that Iagura got hurt, and I think if he didn't get hurt, that rookie championship, rookie of the year would have been closer. If he didn't get hurt, because he was showing up the rest of the guys until he got hurt, and then he got hurt again. So it's unfortunate when he gets hurt. And
I think it makes.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I think these rookies make things exciting because like 2 years ago I think it was Pedro Acosta, he was the only one, and then last year it was Igor and Furman, but now you got someone who's hasn't been in MotoGP, and then you got a Brazilian, so not that matters, but it's just two ethnicities that haven't really been in the paddock often. So I think it's going to be interesting. But I think I agree with Lewis that Diego will probably be the one to pull it out.
Right. Yeah. No, I it's gonna be interesting. I'm looking forward to the first round, the startup. I think like everyone else. Before we get out of here, Reese, anything you want to talk about testing Motor America? What's happening? And any secrets you can divulge? No one's listening.
No, I mean, the only thing I can say is pretty much both our guys are hungry. They're ready. Both guys look great.
Uh-huh.
JD's taken to the bike very well. He's pretty much, very well at pace. Bobby's well over pace. He's doing very well. Bobby's had pretty much a reset. So, I mean, this year, I think we're coming in strong. I think we're coming in stronger than what we were last year. And I think it's going to be, I would say this year is going to be at least, it's going to be a battle. I mean, it's going to be a top 8 guys that's going first. It's going to be 8 guys at least in first place.
All right. That's what's up. I'm looking forward to it. I know you're not going to be at Daytona, but we're gonna have to start asking the fans to send some letters to say Attack needs to be at Daytona for 2027.
You send that, tell them to actually send some money for so we get this. I can tell you right now, that's at least $300,000 to build just one bike, just one of them super sports for Daytona.
Oh, come on, man. Just throw a stock bike out there. Come on.
Yeah, right. That stuff is that's a long way, man. I don't even want to think about it. I'll be out there. I'll probably be out there to visit and check everybody out, coming through. But as far as racing, thank God.
Right. Lewis, I see Kayla's got some Dainese boots, man. Is that an official thing? What's happening? Is that just a personal preference?
Who?
Kayla Yakov.
I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
Okay, all right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know that word.
He pleads the fifth.
No, we gave Elena Dreyer.
Mm-hmm.
Some.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. My bad. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. She,
I got him confused.
We've helped out Josh Heron for a while. I mean, Josh Hayes for a while now, because Josh used to be in TCX boots when he was racing.
Mm-hmm.
And since Dainese owns TCX, we've always tried to help him out. And he kind of reached out to us and kind of told us Elena had some foot issues. Like she got her foot or heel or something injured last year. I don't know if it was on the track or dirt riding or something like that. And they kind of reached out and they were like, hey, is there anything we can do about getting some boots for her? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I have no problem helping him out. I have a lot of respect for Josh Hayes, just, top guy in the paddock, just a stand up kind of person. Mm-hmm. Him and Melissa Paris having a program that kind of like helps kids come along is I think it's a great program. So yeah, we're always willing to help people that are just the right people, and so we reached out. They reached out, and when we were like, yeah, so yes, we got her some boots. So hopefully she likes them. She says she does, and it's just one more kid that we're protecting. I don't have a problem with that. I actually enjoy doing stuff like that. And as far as the rest of our team, the rest of our teams come together pretty good. We have one person that's kind of pending. I can't really talk about it right now, but there's one person that's pending that hopefully, if something comes together, this person will be riding in Superbike.
Okay. I thought you were the podcast host that's a really good friend of yours, but
no.
Super Sport. That's what's up.
Yeah, so no, he'll be in Superbike and Super Sport. Last year we helped Gus Rodeo, and unfortunately he had a financial situation, and the team that he was riding with just couldn't finish the season. Mm-hmm. This year, like, he's got full support to make it through the entire season, and so he's super hyped up to get back out there. Obviously, we got Bobby, we've got Jason Uribe. We've got Hank Vosberg in the twins class, and I think he might do double duty, but he hasn't said yet. But he definitely wants to run the twins class because he thinks he can win the championship. Okay. So a good mix of like young, veteran, returning riders. So we're always trying to do stuff to stay relevant in the game and help the right people.
Nice. That's what we love and like to see. My name is Fortyfive. It's the Be Forever Cool podcast. I want to thank Reese from Attack Yamaha, TJ from Two Wheels and Coffee, the real Luis Ortega, the numbers guy. Peace.
Peace.
Peace out.